What's up guys, it's Sumi here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool transfer news video because Ben Jacobs and various other journalists are reporting that Liverpool have agreed a 6-year contract with Hugo Ekitike and we are in the final stages of the negotiations with Frankfurt to sign the very exciting French striker who is 23 years old and he could move to Liverpool for around 70 to 75 million pounds with bonuses and add-ons. We are still figuring out the final details, but it looks like Liverpool won't pay the 100 million euros, which is 80 million pounds in total. We will negotiate that down just a little bit. There is still work to be done on the structure of the deal, but Liverpool's strong relationship with Frankfurt has led to already very quick progress. Newcastle are completely out of the race for Hugo Ekitike, and in this video we will talk about all the details of this Hugo Ekitike deal and some other Liverpool transfer news as well, mentioning Alexander Isak. The latest news about him is coming up as well. So early in the transfer window, Frankfurt has struck to their asking price, which was around 80-85 million pounds, and no English club has been able to pay that or wanted to pay that. Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, Tottenham, they were all interested in Hugo Ekitike, but Liverpool were already in talks with Ekitike's camp early in the transfer window. And Liverpool, what is fantastic with Liverpool's finances is that Liverpool can do this deal without needing to sell any players. We still have more than 100 million pounds in the bank. We could even spend 150 or 200 million pounds without breaking the PSR rules, or breaching the PSR rules rather. But Liverpool are in the process of selling Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich. We are selling Darwin Núñez probably to Saudi, and Harvey Elliott has interest from West Ham and Leipzig and other clubs. But Newcastle had a 70 million pound bid rejected, so they have now left the negotiations because they know that they can't compete with Liverpool. Liverpool can always offer more money than what Newcastle can offer. And also Ekitike wants to sign for Liverpool. Probably as soon as he learned about Liverpool's interest, probably Ekitike told Newcastle that if Liverpool are in the running, I'm signing for them, no matter what you offer. And even if Newcastle could agree a deal with Frankfurt, Ekitike will choose Liverpool. Ultimately, Tabauer is with the player at this in this scenario. So now Liverpool are fully focused on this Ekitike transfer. And also, before we go any further, I want to dedicate this video to the memory of Diogo Jota, forever Liverpool's number 10-20. You will never walk alone, Diogo. Ekitike had a fantastic season with Frankfurt, 22 goals and 12 assists in all competitions. And yes, that is his first really prolific full season. But if you look at Alexander Isak at Real Sociedad, he had not a great as great a standout season as Hugo Ekitike did at Frankfurt. At Real Sociedad, Isak was scoring 10 to 12 goals per season, and when he signed for Newcastle, that's when he really exploded. Liverpool could have signed Isak for a similar amount when he was at Real Sociedad. So is this a big gamble to sign Ekitike? I think it's not a big gamble, it's a gamble, but it's a medium level gamble, because yes, paying 75 million pounds for a young striker who had one outstanding fabulous season is risky. But if you see his compilations on YouTube, I'm sure you have watched many of them, then you can see that his game intelligence is much better than Darwin Núñez, and he has almost exactly the same profile as Alexander Isak. He just costs half the price, which is very, very important. Even if it doesn't work out, Liverpool can always sell Ekitike for 50 million, and then that's not a big of a loss. Just like we are not making a huge loss on Darwin Núñez. But if you sign Alexander Isak for 150 million, just for a hypothetical scenario, let's say that's the case, and he gets injured all the time, then if you sell him for 50 million, now that is a big loss for Liverpool. So it's a smaller risk signing Ekitike for 75 million pounds than signing Isak for 150 million. let's say that if the fee was 120 million for Isak, then it wouldn't be that big of a risk, but Newcastle are not selling for that amount, and Liverpool also don't want to pay 150 million for Alexander Isak. And Liverpool won the Premier League title without a prolific number 9. We tried many different players, Diogo Jota, Darwin Núñez, and even Luis Diaz played like half a season in the false 9 position, but nobody really flourished for the whole season in that position. But Ekitike is exactly that profile that Liverpool are looking to target, a player with first team experience, but also a huge potential to develop further. And yes, he is not a finished product, not a final, like polished, finished article, but Liverpool will mold him into a striker that could be world class one day, and he possesses a lot of traits that can be molded into being an elite striker. He also has game intelligence, he is tall, but he's pretty quick and he's very skillful. He can beat players, he can nutmeg defenders, he can go past people, and he is technically gifted, which is very, very important. So he could be a real threat in the box, but also he can make clever movements and he can link play with Florian Wirtz, with Mo Salah, with Cody Gakpo on the wing. He can be quick on the counter-attack, and his athleticism and ball-carrying attributes really stand out. And in the Bundesliga, Ekitike scored 15 goals in 31 games last season, which is 1 goal every 2 games. And he also provided 8 assists, and he was in the top 6% when it comes to forwards, attacking players who create chances for others. And also what is very encouraging is Ekitike registered 117 shots on goal in the Bundesliga, which was more than any other player, more than even Harry Kane. His expected goals figure of 21.6 was the Bundesliga's second highest, which is really, really good. And also if you add up Ekitike's non-penalty expected goals and the expected assists in Europe's top 7 leagues, Ekitike comes out on top with 24.4. That shows how many goals how many great chances he got, and also how many great passes he gave to his teammates in goal scoring positions. And the fact that he is above players like Lamine Yamal, Cole Palmer, Erling Haaland, Alexander Isak, I mean, that's phenomenal. Hugo Ekitike, basically in expected goals and expected assists, is better than these players, which is really, really spectacular, with 24.4. Just for comparison, Lamine Yamal has 23.3 XG plus XG XA, Cole Palmer 21.2, Erling Haaland 20.4, Alexander Isak 20. And Bradley Barcola 19, Michael Olise at Bayern 18.6, Vinicius Junior 18.5. So let me know, what do you think about Hugo Ekitike? Do you think he's worth 75 million pounds? And are you excited about this potential transfer? Leave your thoughts down below. And now let's move on to other transfer news regarding Liverpool, because Harvey Elliott is on Leipzig's list. But as things stand, the transfer doesn't seem particularly likely, because the overall package of a transfer fee and wages is very high, because Harvey Elliott would cost around between 40 and 50 million pounds. That's what Liverpool are looking for. And Elliott has a wide range of financially strong options. He can go to another Premier League club. I think that's the most likely, because Premier League clubs are awash with money, while other leagues like the Italian league, the French league, the German league, even the Spanish league, they don't have as much money. A deal can't be completely ruled out. Leipzig do maintain a very good relationship with Harvey Elliott's agency. So Harvey Elliott is definitely interested in going to a club which plays Champions League football, or at least European football. So we will watch this space. Apparently West Ham are interested in him as well, and the biggest question is who is willing to pay big money for Harvey Elliott, because Liverpool are looking to sell him for minimum 40 million pounds, I think. And I also wanted to touch on this story, which I'm not sure all of you guys have heard or seen, that Florian Wirtz's father has given a very extended, detailed interview to the Der Spiegel German newspaper, where he talked extensively about his son's transfer, Florian Wirtz's transfer to Liverpool, and Bayern's attempts to convince the family and the surrounding media coverage. And I think this is very interesting to get a full picture on how and why Florian Wirtz became a Liverpool player. So several clubs were interested, his father, Florian Wirtz's father, said, but in the end Bayern and Liverpool were the only serious contenders. And he said on Bild reporting that Flo had reached an agreement with Bayern. I couldn't make any promises because Florian ultimately makes the decision. At the time it was still open. The situation with Bayern was difficult because Uli Hoeneß and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge made an incredible effort and also clearly analyzed the sporting possibilities. On his final conversation with Uli Hoeneß, Florian Wirtz's father said, I remember Florian Wirtz's father is his agent as well. So we had spoken several times before, so Hoeneß was objective and fair, but of course he couldn't hide his disappointment when he learned that Florian Wirtz chose Liverpool. He had personally put a lot of effort into this transfer, but on the decision, his father said, Florian had this feeling, we understood it and we supported him completely. We set ourselves a deadline for Thursday after the secret meeting with Liverpool FC. All three of us had the same perception. So we made this decision in favor of Liverpool together. Florian saw the move abroad as a new personal and sporting challenge and therefore chose Liverpool. We shared that view. You could say that the conversation with Arne Slot was decisive in Florian Wirtz's decision to choose Liverpool. Arne Slot was able to convince Florian on a sporting level. He's also a very pleasant person. Florian's best coaches were always those who gave him a lot of freedom, and those with the greatest empathy have also reached Florian. He finds the game in England interesting because it thrives on pace and dynamism. Arne Slot presented his playing philosophy, the team tactics in possession and pressing, and how Florian can develop his strengths in it. That made the decisive impression on Florian. The training conditions in Liverpool were also totally impressive. Plus, Florian is now at a good age to move abroad. Once you have a family, you are no longer as independent, but at the moment Florian Wirtz still doesn't have a family yet. Vincent Kompany also had very good thoughts and ideas about how he wanted to integrate Florian Wirtz into the Bayern Munich team. In the end, it was nuances that ultimately influenced the decision, which had to do with different sporting situations and different roles in the teams for Florian. And financially, there were no major differences between the two clubs anyway. Once again, Bayern Munich really tried hard, but the decision had to be made. So he's making good comments about Bayern Munich because he doesn't want to burn any bridges. One day, maybe Florian Wirtz will go to Bayern Munich. We don't know that yet, but he doesn't want to burn any bridges because in the future you never know that he could go to Bayern Munich maybe in 5, 6, 7 years time. Also, it has been reported that Luis Diaz is thinking about handing in an official transfer request at Liverpool because he is really desperate to leave Liverpool. He wasn't happy with Liverpool's lack of contract offers. He wants to at least double his salary, and at Bayern he would easily double his salary, maybe even earn more. At the moment, Bayern Munich, the maximum that they bid for Luis Diaz was like 65 million euros, and Liverpool want Bayern to go higher. We should sell Luis Diaz for at least what we are paying for Hugo Ekitike, I think, or maybe a little bit less, but not like 20 million less. And also, there has been reports that Real Betis and other Spanish clubs are interested in Stefan Bajcetic, who is 20 years old, and I don't think he would get a lot of regular playing time with Florian Wirtz, Dominik Szoboszlai, Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, Curtis Jones, all vying for places. Maybe a loan, another loan to a Spanish club for Bajcetic would be beneficial for his development. And also, just a final thought on the Hugo Ekitike transfer. Bild, a German newspaper, I'm just reading this, has reported that Frankfurt sporting director Markus Krösche has had conversations with Ekitike the last few days, and he has assured him that his dream move to Liverpool won't have a problem because of 1 or 2 million euros. So basically he guaranteed Ekitike that his dream move will happen to Liverpool, because this deal will not fail because of 1 million euros or 2 million euros. All parties are relaxed and they will come to an agreement, because Frankfurt are willing to sell Ekitike for the right price. Liverpool want him, Ekitike wants Liverpool, so it's just a matter of time until this deal gets done. And even though the sporting director Marcus Krösche has been in Crete on holiday, it looks like he's working overtime on this mega deal to happen while on holiday. That's very, very interesting. So yeah, let me know what you think about all the transfer stories that we talked about in this video, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, have a nice day. See you later guys, goodbye.